Okay, if I take 7 times 13, 56 firebenders, 27 earthbenders, that should do it. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, finally. We have Avatar news. What is up, all of you fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender? We finally have some news on Season 2 of the live-action adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And once again, we're talking about Toph. There's also some Azula stuff to go over and a few updates regarding the Aang animated movie, so stick around for that, but I want to dive into all this. Before I do, make sure you use your bending skills and smash the like button, and then subscribe if you're new here. Seriously, my friends, hitting the like button helps me a ton in the algorithm, and so I'd appreciate your support. It would be fire. But guys, I gotta be honest, I have just been waiting. I've been keeping a pulse on the interwebs for any and all news when it comes to Season 2, Season 3 of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender. I feel like I've been fishing or something like that, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I finally got something. And now within the last week, a ton of stuff has sort of just poured in, and so I want to go over all of that today. The first bit comes to us from the Direct. They caught up with Jabbar Raysani at 2024's Palais Fest. Am I saying that right? Palais Fest? Sound it out. Palais Fest. He first spoke about how Season 2 and Season 3 will very much follow suit in condensing. He said, I think it's a lot like Season 1. There's a lot of content in the animated series, and we will be looking at all that content, but we don't have the number of episodes that we have in the animated series, so certainly there will be some condensing that has to take place. And we've already talked a lot about this when it came to Season 1, like you can understand they have to condense things a little bit. Unfortunately, they're not going to have 20 episodes, which I wish they would, but basically they're just going to be doing the same thing that they did in Season 1. But they also brought up Uncle Iroh and asked about the possibility of more original moments in Season 2 for his character after Sun-Hyung Lee shared that he doesn't know how they're going to remix the stories going forward. Paul said, I wish I could. I have no idea what they have planned for us. I know we're getting an opportunity to finish telling the story. Obviously, the animated series is going to be the template for us, but other than that, I don't know how they're going to remix the stories. Nobody tells me nothing. So I'm just going to show up and yeah, hopefully we get a better, clearer sense of where we're going with that in the future. But right now, I have no idea what's going to happen. But I found the next bit in this article super interesting. And if you're a Legend of Korra fan, get out of your seat right now because this is for you and things are about to get wild. They asked whether or not Jabbar would be interested in adapting Korra, and he said, certainly, I'd be interested in anything that is in this universe. And I know that this is about as small a quote as Pabu, but there is hope. And I just really hope they do it because if they don't give me hope. But I could make a whole video just on this subject alone. If Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Avatar: The Last Airbender all do well, it ends up all really coming together and fans just love it. Do we think that they're going to actually adapt Korra in the future? And what would that look like with the advancing of technology when it comes to Korra and how just things are so much different in that show? Do you think they could actually pull that off? I don't know. It's definitely a question. Something to think about, you know what I mean? But moving on to what we've all been waiting for, and that is Toph. Toph freaking Beifong, baby. Damn it. I just say things sometimes. It just comes out of my mouth. I don't know why I say things. But when asked about how the character's introduction will change the dynamics of Team Avatar, Raysani said, we really rely on the animated series, so I think you're going to see a lot of the dynamics that were true in the animated series come through in live action. It won't be a one-to-one. You can never do a one-to-one, but, expect that feeling all over again. And this is what I've been wanting to get into because it excites me a lot. Season 2 specifically is an opportunity for them to take everything that they've learned from the experience of Season 1, the good and the bad, and then build upon it. And for me at least, the one thing that I thought that they nailed in Season 1 was the casting as well as just that essence. They honored the feeling that you get of watching the animated series. I don't think many people can argue with that. Even if they didn't like the writing, even if they didn't like the performances, that essence of Avatar: The Last Airbender was there. And Toph is tough and funny and headstrong, but there's more to her story. And in the animated series, you get a little bit of that, but I personally feel like there's more emotion to explore there, especially with her family. She straight up decides to leave home at a young age. And she's been living, as a blind girl in this kind of safeguarded space her entire life. What can they show or what can they do in live action to kind of pull that that through, pull that emotion through. Because when I'm watching something, whether it be a movie or a show, or I guess following a story in general, I don't get worked up when like the softer characters get emotional, because that's expected. The dude that's always scared of everything all of a sudden's crying, and you're like, well, that's a given because he's scared of everything. But it always hits me when the characters that are a bit more hardened, kind of the tough characters, when they get emotional, that's when I start to well up, because you don't expect that. And Toph is very much that, and I feel like there's just more to her story. I just want to see how they approach it. But let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments. We're already fully expecting, and Jabbar even said this, like, it's not going to be a one-to-one, but do you think they're going to do a good enough job at capturing her essence? Like, are you confident that this team that's approaching season 2 is going to be able to pull that off? Also, what do you guys think about the things that could potentially be added to her story? Let me know. But moving on, now we have Azula. As I mentioned, they were chatting with some people at Palais Fest, and they also caught up with Azula actress Elizabeth Yu. And she was talking about how she's just excited to interact with the other characters, because you don't really think about it, but she hasn't had any scenes with the core 3, and only one at the Agni Kai with Dallas Liu. But she said, I didn't get any scenes with any of the kids in the first season. I got scenes with Daniel and Momona and Talia, which was so much fun, but I don't know. I can't wait to see what the exchanges are like with Team Avatar and the sibling rivalry. I'm excited to elaborate on all of that. And truly, we're excited for that too. She's already proven to me, at least, that she's a phenomenal actress. She's very talented. But now to see kind of her descent into madness, embracing evil, it's really exciting. Book 2 is the season of Azula, man. You know, like Book 3 is Ozai, Book 2 is Azula. And so this is her time to shine. You know what I mean? Or flame, her time to flame. And she went on to actually talk about that. She said, I mean, I'm excited. In the original series as well, Azula is not on the first season, so a lot of her introduction is in the second season. It's a really important moment for her. So I'm excited to do any scenes from the original series, like any of our iconic lines. And if we're pulling a quote here, my favorite quote would have to be, true power, the divine right to rule, is something you were born with. And as we head towards the crossroads of destiny for Zuko and everybody's story, you know, this is the Empire Strikes Back. This season is the turning point where our characters really evolve. And I'm just happy that we're getting a season 2, because with a season 2, everybody's coming back and things are just more comfortable, especially with season 3 already being greenlit. I think we can expect some really great performances, because you're probably going to be able to feel that energy, feel that kind of relaxed vibe of being like, okay, my job is secure. But let me know your thoughts on Azula as well down below. This is a really important thing for season 2, and so I am just kind of generally curious across the board what you thought about Azula being in season 1, and then how far they're going to go with her character in season 2. But my friends, we have one more thing to talk about. Where is it? Okay, so as you probably know, updates for the animated Avatar: The Last Airbender movie have been, let's just say, interesting. It's like things come out and are confirmed and then are quickly changed. For instance, the release date, we knew for quite a while that it was 2025, like that was said for a long time, and then all of a sudden there was like this big announcement towards the time that the live action series came out, and they said 2025 live action animated Avatar: Last Airbender movie, and then like 3 weeks ago they're saying, okay, live action animated movie being delayed to 2026, January 20th, 2026. And it's kind of like, how do we know what's real here? None of the comments that I see online are ever coming from Avatar Studios, and I think that's where a bulk of the frustration lies. With the live action right now, you have the cast talking, you have the producers talking, everybody's just talking about it. They're like, season 2, season 3, like, we're all so excited. And then the animated movie, it's just like crickets, you know what I mean? It's like a tumbleweed blowing by, like, as far as the animated movie goes, and what I've heard, it's like Dave Bautista is probably voicing the villain, and that's absolutely for sure. But also maybe it's not, though. Like, that's the way that things seem online for me. I don't know, to me at least. And I think it's understandable for people to be a little bit worried. Personally, I'm not that worried. I know that this movie eventually is going to come out. Mike and Brian are at the helm, so I think we're safe as far as quality goes. I bet it's going to be a really awesome story. But there's just a lot of frustration out there right now with how the announcements have been approached and just how little information that we've gotten in general regarding Avatar Studios. And that's why I haven't talked about it very much here on the channel, because I want to give you guys news and updates that's actually true. Like, I'm sure you guys can understand that. And all the stuff that's been coming out, even like Dante Basco returning to voice Zuko, it's not really confirmed yet. Like, I don't know for sure if that's happening. As soon as they say that's absolutely concrete for sure, I'm going to be making a huge video about that, because that would be insane if Dante Basco came back. But I don't know, there's just a lot of questions. I'm sure you guys have questions. Like, if Dave Bautista is voicing the villain, what do you guys think about that? What are your thoughts? If the title is Aang the Last Airbender, what do you think about that? Please let me know down in the comments. As news breaks for this and the live action series, you guys can always expect me to be talking about it and making videos about it. So that's definitely a reason to subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, that was a lot of information and a lot of ATLA news to get excited about. Again, head down to the comments and let me know all of your thoughts. Make sure you smash like and click on another video. You can reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you on X at Jones Vibes Only. And don't forget to keep up the good vibes, guys. But season 2 of Avatar The Last Airbender sounds like it's gonna rock.